Genshin has once again released a random out of the blue character that we haven't seen in any story before that is actually really good. And I was going to pull for Linnea, but they did just tease that Nicole's releasing next update. And as you can see, my Primo Gem situation isn't incredible, so I kind of want to pull Nicole more. But with Linnea's release, it did remind me of a build I wanted to do for ages, but have never got around to, and that is a Lunar-Crystallized Navia. Because I have Navia, and she is one of my favorite characters, but I've never really found her playstyle very easy, because I just find the whole playstyle of running around collecting the crystallized chunks very, very annoying. But in Lunar Charge teams, you can just trigger Lunar Charge and that automatically fills up her little bullet shell gauge thingy-majig for that. I don't remember what it's called. Now, team-wise, I think the just go-to team for this is Navia, Columbina, Farina, and Shalonen. Shalonen is all built on the flute with the scroll set and at 599 talent-wise, sitting at almost 3,500 defense. My Farina, I have level 90 on the Fav. Golden Troop, everyone is C0. And she has 599 talents. I wouldn't mind getting this R5 because I did notice recently that I don't have a single R5 Favonius. And I have a lot of Favonius swords. So I think it's probably in my best interest to R5 this. So let's do that right now. There we go. We can R5 the Favonius sword. Generally don't know why I haven't R5'd that because I probably have had enough swords to R5 that for close to 2 years now. But there we go, that is R5. So Farina doesn't need any work. Columbina shouldn't need any work. She's on prototype Amber and running the Morningstar and Moon set. Again, C0 and at 688. So I could do a little bit of work on her talents if I wanted to get some stuff up to level 9. If I did though, it would just be the skill and burst. I would need to farm more of Tutore though. Otherwise though, Columbina is pretty well built at almost 50,000 HP. And you know, not a terrible build, 64 to 176. Not that I think she's doing a ton of damage, but still not bad. And then finally we have my Navia. She has almost 3,000 attack. The crit ratio is not very good, but that is partly because I don't have a crit weapon. I do believe this is the best weapon for Navia if you don't have a crit weapon. So I mean, I could technically run Kinichas if I wanted crit, but it's not really giving me a whole lot of crit, and the passive is pretty well useless. Although, to be fair, we will also gain elemental skill and burst damage increase by 10%, which isn't bad. This whole rest of it, though, is useless because it's all burning. So, I mean, it might not be a terrible option to run Kinichas just to slightly soften the amount of crit rate I need to get. I think I will stick with this for now. We'll try to get a good crit ratio with this. And then I can always try Kinichas and see if that is better. Now, her talents are 899. I shouldn't need to do any work to them unless I want to crown something, which honestly, I wouldn't mind crowning her skill because I do really, really enjoy playing Navia. And I do have almost all of the... Actually, I can craft everything, so I might as well crown her skill. And I have 52 crowns. We have plenty of crowns for that. The only thing I think could use a little bit of work for Navia is the artifact situation, because some of them are not particularly excellent. I would say we want to run crit rate just because we have 52% crit rate with a crit rate circlet. And unfortunately, that is our best piece because it has 28% crit damage. We have this geo damage, which is okay. I don't imagine I'm going to be able to see much better. We're gonna skip past that right now because it is horrendous. That Sans is not good. The feather, I only have one, and it's... I mean, the crit rates are low on everything, but it's... These are pretty similar pieces, but this has attack percent. EM's not actually bad with Lunar-Crystallize. I still think this will be better though. And then we have this. And that's certainly a piece. I mean, the EM, as I said, is okay. I mean, it's better than the flat HP, but yeah, there's only one crit and it's not a very good piece. So Navia can definitely use some work, and that is where we're going to start off. I have condensed all my resin for the day, so I'm going to spend that in Navia's domain. Then I believe her artifacts are available in the strong box, so I'll probably go do that as well, and hopefully I can get a bit of an upgrade for the Sans, Feather, and Flower. or really any of them, but I think those are our 3 that we could see a substantial upgrade from. So while we're here, we might as well also have a little look at how much damage we're doing. We don't have full stacks at the moment, but that did 150,000. So I'm, wow. Okay, that did more than I thought, to be honest. I was not expecting 100, almost 60,000 straight off the bat. I mean, Columbina's, she's just 25k. Columbina's just, okay. I don't know why Columbina's doing so much, but I guess, sure. And yeah, no buffs, 83,000. I'm not seeing, oh, there's 50,000 from the Lunar-Crystallized, but Lunar-Crystallized isn't really known to do a bunch of damage, I don't think. Plus, it's not like we're using Zabai, who's an actual Lunar-Crystallized DPS. So Navi is not actually doing Lunar damage, it's just the Lunar-Crystallized damage that's doing Lunar-Crystallized damage. That was a sentence and a half. There is a potential feather, although I would have liked that to be attack percent, not flat defense. And we are not able to do full runs anymore of this. Ooh, wait a minute. I mean, doesn't have attack or ER or EM, but it is a double crit onset geo damage, which could be kind of good because it means I could get an offset sands because the sands situation is not looking very good at the moment. It is going to be worse because it doesn't have ER, but if it just rolls solely into the crits and just does like crazy high rolls into all the crits, I will be very happy. So far, off to a good start. Please, one more into crit damage. Oh, okay. I mean, we're missing out on the ER, but come on. That's nice. And it's on set, which means we can go offset for the sands, which I will definitely be doing. Why the hell does Amber have our best attack percent sands? Sure, okay. We'll take that one. It's pretty good. 21 crit damage, 10 crit rate, ER, EM. The feather, I potentially have a better one. Oh, I mean, it's actually a very even spread of rolls. 20% crit damage, 3 crit rate, 7 crit rate, 11 crit damage. But ER, I think it will be better just because of the extra crit rate, because at the moment our 52% crit rate is not very good. Still just shy of that 3,000 attack and a almost 70 to 183. If I did swap it to this one, what do we jump up to? 74 to 181. Actually, that's a little bit better. So that will do. I also would like to try this out with a slightly different team at one point. So I might try this team as well. I don't know if we're better off having Farina Aino or Aino Shalonen. Oh, that's actually quite good. I think we would just swap Farina out with Aino if I wanted to run the Ascendant Gleam double nod-krai. But we'll start with just Farina. Columbina stuff. Chuck out Farina stuff. I can guarantee you she's going to kill the thing. Boom, boom. Throw out Navia. Lunar-Crystallize 75,000. And boom. 123. Okay. Not much. Was that 200,000? Might be doing 20,000. I'm not sure. I think I need a stronger enemy. I mean, we get the perpetual mechanical array, so I could try first half. It's tanky, so we'll get a bit of a test. Seeing 75,000 so far from the Lunar-Crystallized. Max stacks, please, of skill. There we go. Boom. 100. That did less damage. How did that do less damage? I'm seeing good numbers from both the Lunar-Crystallized damage and also Navia's damage, so that is a good sign. I don't know why we're doing more damage with less buffs, but sure. And there we go. I didn't see what time that was, but I felt like that was a pretty quick run. Yeah, that was an 8-minute 20. That's not bad, to be honest. I mean, I don't think we're going to be able to clear this, but hey, not a bad run. This second half really needs Farina. We have not a whole lot of damage with Xingqiu, which means now it's time to swap the team up and throw in Aino, because she is the only other nod-krai character that can really buff. Because who else have I got? I got Flynn's. He can't do anything. No, I have Yehoda. I don't think she can do much either. And that's it. So I think we're going to run Aino. She is also level 90, so that helps. We get Ascendant Gleam now, and I can run Aino on... We'll keep her in Sacrificial. And she's on the Silken Moon Serenade at the moment. I think it will be the best bet. We'll run that. I think you should be running the double nod-krai set anyway. If you're running 2 nod-krai characters, one should have Silken Moons, one should have the other one, and the other one is on Columbina. So there we go. Ino's talents are a little bit on the underleveled side, but it's not the worst. I did also just remember I said I was going to crown Navia's skill. So let me go do that. I only need a little bit of crafting for it because I have everything I need. So we should be able to get it up pretty easily. There we go. Crowned skill. And I somehow had the Mora for that, although I definitely don't anymore. Which means now it is straight back into the Abyss. And it's time to see how this team does. And now I can actually run Farina on second half. So my freeze team can actually do something. Okay, let's have a look if we see more with this Ascendant Gleam stuff going on. With some Lunar charge, eventually. Boom. 202,000. Not bad. I see some 16-ish thousands with the Lunar charge. Not Lunar charge, Lunar crystallized. And yeah, 190,000 there, 20,000s. I think, honestly, this is doing more. It's pretty comparable, to be honest, but I think there is a little bit more damage from this team than there is from the Farina team, which is honestly slightly surprising. We're doing less damage overall, like team rotation, because we don't have Farina, but the actual Navia damage is higher and the Lunar Crystallized damage is higher, which is surprising, to be honest. But I suppose Lunar reactions do really want that Ascendant Gleam. It is quite a big part of it. So I suppose it does make sense. I did say I was going to try swapping to Kinesis weapon. I guess I can do that. What's our stats? We lose a bit of attack, 85 to 181. So we get more crit rate, which means I could potentially try to get a little bit more crit damage. Although I don't know where I could get that from unless I wanted to swap her to a crit damage circlet, which I feel like would mess up our... Well, I mean, it's not the worst. It's not particularly great, but I might as well try it because 215 crit damage is pretty nice. So let's try this out. Let's see one more run through the Abyss with the Ino team, because that did do more damage, at least from Navia. The overall team damage was lower, but Navia's damage was higher. And let's see if we can do more with Kinesis weapon. Aesthetically, it doesn't look better, but maybe it will perform better. Well, let's have a look. We get all of our stacks up. Boom, 200. Ooh, that did more damage already. 225. Boom, another one, 200,000. And I mean, the crit rate isn't incredible. I wouldn't mind a little bit more crit rate, but it's not the worst. I mean, it's almost 70%, so you get some instances like that where we do not crit. When we do crit, 230,000, we see some pretty large numbers. 85,000 from the Lunar-Crystallize then as well. I do think I'm better off running Kinesis weapon. It is technically not as good crit rate-wise, as I said, but I could always fix that with artifacts. I could always get some slightly better artifacts on her and get some more crit rate, which I think is what I will try to do in the long run. 200 and almost 60,000 there. Yeah, okay, that's quite nice. I enjoy that quite a bit. And a pretty decent clear time as well. Yeah, you know what, frick it, we'll go for this. We'll try to 3-star this first side. Not going to really bother with the second side because it's a pyro enemy, or it's an enemy that wants pyro, so it's not really good for a Geo team. But we might as well try this dude. See if I can finish at least one floor of the Abyss. I've already finished it, but why not? But yeah, I mean, I think at the moment, that Navia team is actually looking like one of my most fun teams in the account. It's probably not my strongest team, but it's definitely one of the most fun. And I mean, it is still pretty strong. 260,000 almost from Navia, as well as having all of the Lunar crystallized damage as well. And also the healing from Shalonen and all the other stuff. It's actually a pretty comfy team to play and does a lot of damage. Speaking of comfy, that was a very comfy clear. I definitely did better, or I'm going to leave that. Definitely did better on the second half. It was a lot faster. The first half was also faster. So I think even though it doesn't aesthetically look as good, Kinesis weapon is definitely the go for Navia at the moment. If I can get, obviously a signature would be good, or another preferably a little bit better, more suited to her playstyle crit claymore, that would be nice. Especially something with a little bit more than 11% crit damage, because that's not a lot. That would be nice. Other than that, I mean, this works quite well. Crit ratio is not bad. As I said, I'll probably try to fix up these artifacts at some point in the future. Maybe try to squeeze a little bit of crit rate out of the circlet if I can. With that being said, that is where I'm going to leave this video off. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you liked this video, go check out the video I pulled for Navia whenever that was. And with that being said, do consider subscribing, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.